Good morning. It's Thursday, January 24th. Today I want to talk about an institution which I believe is one of the most important institutions in this country. And over these past couple of years, ever since Donald Trump was president, this institution has failed, in my mind, to do many things right. And I'm talking about the 9 members of the Supreme Court. Now, not all of them were appointed by Donald Trump, but he had the luck to appoint 3 members of the Supreme Court. And that made the Supreme Court extremely conservative. So conservative that they have overturned many precedents, among them the right to abortion. But I don't want to talk about that particular case right now. I want to talk about a case that they have just judged, in my mind, properly. But what bothers me about the decision is that the number of justices who voted nay, which is 4 justices, in my mind, were wrong. This decision that the Supreme Court has come to should have been a unanimous decision. And this is a decision that relates to the barbed wire that was strung in the Rio Grande River to stop the immigrants from crossing the river. And apparently Texas or somebody sued because Texas was made to remove that barbed wire. Or the barbed wire was being removed somehow, somewhere. And this case came before the Supreme Court, and they voted in favor of removing the barbed wire, which I give them a lot of credit for. But what I don't give them credit for is the 4 imbeciles that voted with the state of Texas. I was always of the impression that once something got to the Supreme Court and the decision was made, then that's made. It's done with, right? And yes, there can be other angles that are brought before the court, different versions of the story that could be sued upon. But now, according to what I read, the justice's order will now face legal challenges from the state of Texas. Even though this is a sane decision on the part of the court, Texas is not apparently giving up on its staunch idea that razor wire is the way to solve the immigration problem. Now, President Biden, who has been a leader in this ongoing dispute with Governor Abbott over his border policy, is happy about this decision, but he can't do anything else. And so this situation is there. The state of Texas is going to continue to fight to have their razor wire in the water. And just recently, the crisis was increased after 3 migrants drowned in a section of the Rio Grande. And federal officials say they couldn't save these people because the Texas state officials had blocked agents' access to the crossing areas. Now, isn't that murder? Should Texas state officials stop the rescuing of citizens, non-citizens, people? Is that what we want to see? That they would stop, that the officials in Texas would stop rescuers from saving the lives of 3 immigrants? I don't think that's what we want to see. And I would like to see Governor Abbott come before the Supreme Court charged with murder. How about that? How about we charge those people, the state Texas official who allowed 3 people to drown on their watch by preventing rescuers to go into the river? How about if they were charged with murder? What kind of uproar would that cause in this country? The victims in this incident were a woman and two children. The children's ages were 10 and 8, and the woman was 33. In the prime of life, trying to get a new and better life by getting into the state of Texas. And she dies because of what Abbott and his crew are doing on this stretch of the Mexican border near Eagle Pass. The drowned people, well as two other people, were pulled from the water on the U.S. side of the Rio Grande by Mexican authorities. See, that just shows you that Texas is firm in its continued effort to exercise complete control of the border and the land in that area, and to block border control's access to the border even in emergency circumstances. The Border Patrol could have saved these people if they were allowed. Border Patrol could not save these people because they were blocked entry to that area by the Texas National Guard under instructions of Governor Abbott. Of course, the Texas Military Department has a different story. They said the Mexican authorities were recovering the bodies before they ever found out anything. The Texas Military Department said it was contacted by the Border Patrol about 9 p.m. on Friday, but they could see nothing on the river. There were no migrants observed, and at no time did the Texas military security personnel along the river observe any distressed migrants. And the Texas Military Department did not turn back any illegal immigrants from the U.S. during that period of time. The Texas Military Department claims they were not made aware of any bodies being discovered on the U.S. side of the border during this entire situation. The conflict, we have different stories. Who knows what the real truth is? Except the fact that 3 people were dead, 2 others rescued, 2 others stopped from going into the river. And the Texas Military Department knows nothing about any of this. So what are they doing at the river? What are they doing there? Probably not doing much, depending upon the razor wire to keep all the immigrants out of the water. And who knows who's telling the truth here? Based upon the previous actions of Governor Abbott, who's shipping busloads of immigrants all over the country without telling anybody. Who could believe the Texas side of the story? Certainly don't. I believe that the Texans deliberately keep people out of the country, and if they drown, that's tough luck. So I'll leave you with that. A crazy, crazy situation at the border that is only going to get worse unless we, the people of the United States, and the government of the United States, creates a workable immigration system. Take care. Bye.